2018 at 7 p.m. in the City Council chambers. Tonight we'll have our invocation by the Reverend Jim Sanders from Fellowship General Baptist Church.
Stand, pray with us. Father, we come to you on behalf of those who have gathered here tonight, and we want to thank you for your many blessings on our nation, on our state, and on our community. I thank you that even in difficult times, even in uncertain times, that you've taught us that by standing together and putting our faith and trust in you, that we can overcome and we can accomplish great things. I thank you for the freedoms that you have granted to us, and I pray that you'd help us to understand that with these freedoms, you've also given us responsibilities. You've told us in scriptures that we are to have respect, obedience, and to pray for governing authorities because you have established it for our peace, order, and justice. So we pray for our mayor, our city manager, and all the various levels of city officials and agencies and their support staffs. We especially pray for those who lay their lives on the line every day for our safety and protection. I pray for this council that you would grant them wisdom to govern, that you would give them a sense of the welfare and needs of our people, a desire for justice and righteousness, and confidence in what is good, the ability to work together in harmony even when they are in honest disagreement, and that you would give them personal peace in their lives and joy in their task. I pray that you would lead them through the business set before them tonight and give them an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around our community. I pray these things in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
And now if you will join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you very much, Jim. Okay, Ms. Kirby, we'll have the roll call, please.
Councilman DeGaris.
Here.
Councilwoman Horton.
Here.
Councilman Cornman.
Here.
Councilman Smith.
Here.
Councilman Black.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
Here.
And Mayor McVeigh.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Kirby. Disclosure of interest. Any member of the City Council may disclose any possible conflict of interest dealing with either any item on the printed agenda or any matter discussed at a previous meeting. Seeing none, this time we'll have our citizens' input. Each person in the audience may take this opportunity to address the City Council on any matter which is not on the printed agenda.
Mayor, members of the council, Jerica Fox, 1111 Pine Street. I'm here on behalf of downtown Poplar Bluff for two different items this evening, I believe. Our 9th annual Iron Horse Festival will be Saturday, September 29th. This year will be the last Saturday of September, just as last year. I'm here asking for your permission for the sale of alcohol in the downtown area for this festival. Every year it's held as far as alcohol sales, it's held in the U.S. Bank parking lot. They have agreed again this year to let us utilize that area. If you don't know, it is a gated off area, so the alcohol strictly stays in that area.
Any comments from the council? I believe we just need a consensus. All right. Anybody opposed or make a comment? Go ahead.
No, I don't have. I'm just good with it. It's okay with me.
Do we have a consensus to?
No, you don't.
We do not.
I don't think it's a good thing for the town community. But
Okay.
I'm just one vote.
We got two noes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Pardon? So we probably need a motion since we've got controversy on it. Okay.
So moved.
So your motion is to allow alcohol at the Iron Horse Festival, Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
Do I have a second? We have a second. Okay. So the motion is on the table to approve the alcohol for the Iron Horse Festival in September 29th. And we'll have a roll call vote. Ms. Kirby. Any other discussion? Okay, we'll have a roll call, Ms. Kirby.
Councilman DeGaris.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horton.
Yes.
Councilman Cornman.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Black.
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
No.
Mayor McVeigh.
Yes.
We have 5 yes votes and 2 no.
So the motion passes, so you will be eligible to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
The second thing I'm here for is EPA's Greening America's Community. It's not a grant. What it is more of pretty much an agency will come in on behalf of EPA. And so what we're doing at this point is just submitting letters of interest saying that we are interested in them coming in, and those are due on August 1st. We're asking City Council to provide a letter of support for us when filing this, and I'll give you just a little bit on what it entails. The goal of Greening America's Communities is to help communities create a clear vision of distinctive, environmentally friendly neighborhoods that incorporate innovative, smart growth and green infrastructure strategies. EPA is providing this design assistance to help communities create stronger neighborhoods that protect the environment, such as street and public space design. That is what we are looking at doing. I think this might be in your packet. Was it provided?
I'm not sure where you're reading from.
I'm reading on the actual letter of interest. I don't know that you were provided. This is what we got. I believe you have what we'll be submitting. And that's the 2 project areas. So in this, we have to give them 2 areas of interest that we would like this design assistance to be used.
What is this going to be for?
The downtown area. So it's
I know that, but what are we going with?
So
That's the location, so what is the
right.
purpose?
So the 2 locations are the riverfront along Black River. The ideas that we've given them. So if we would be approved,
What
they
would we
just
get?
Right. They come in and they pretty much recreate our vision with an architect, and so they take care of all of those fees. They do feasibility studies to see if the river. Our example for the river is a river walk. So they do all of the studies for it to see if Poplar Bluff would support that. The cost that it would entail, and then they draw up a rendition of what it would look like. So this is something that takes out that first step for us on projects. As a nonprofit, it covers that initial step for us. So project 1 is the riverfront along Black River. Our idea is the river walk, which incorporates possibility of a space for joggers. We would like to incorporate the trail that the park department has already created to incorporate that in there. And the second location is the 200 block of South Broadway, which encompasses 2 empty lots that are owned by the city as well as the parking garage. So we kind of gave 2 ideas for that location. One of them was either a water feature such as like a splash pad or something of that nature. The other was an open space outdoor venue that has, similar to Puxico, they have just a small stage with a covering and then seating and then lawn seating. So it could be used for outdoor movies, concerts, things of that nature, and also be used by the community for pageants and et cetera.
Would that incorporate tearing down the parking garage or using it as is?
That would take it down.
Take it
to
down.
leave the entire area or that entire block other than Halfies as a green space.
Who would be responsible for taking it down? Would the grant pay for that?
This is strictly just an assistance of recreating a rendition of what we would like to happen. So there's no monetary. This is strictly EPA saying, we would like to help you give the community a vision of what you want, instead of just saying, we'd like a splash pad or we would like a river walk. They'll recreate that for us so we have it on a poster to say, this is our goal, now we're going to start our fundraising, or now we know what it's going to cost, now we're going to search for grants for X amount of dollars. So our goal would be that Downtown Poplar Bluff as a nonprofit would file for those grants if EPA sees that it's feasible through this assessment.
Okay.
So this entails no money on the city or downtown. It's strictly just an assessment or assistance from a design company through EPA.
Okay. Any other questions from the council?
So you just need our support.
Yes, they asked that we have at least 3 letters of support, so I've asked Steve Halter with the Chamber, Vince Lampy with the Commissioner, Butler County Commissioners, and then, of course, City Council. Those will be our 3 letters that we would like to submit with this letter of interest.
I just wasn't real clear where we were going with it. That's why I just wanted more information.
Right.
I wasn't understanding what you were asking for.
I received this we're involved in the Missouri Main Street program, and so Missouri Main Street, as an organization, feels that things are more easily attainable when there's a vision and there's something to show people what you want to do with it. Sometimes those entail so much more cost than just beginning the project. So this takes that first step and essentially pays for that first step for us. Lets us know if a river walk would be utilized, as well as either a splash pad or an outdoor green space, whatever they felt is most feasible for our area.
I think it's worth looking into.
Yes. Well, Matt, I spoke with Matt Winters first just because he's so good in all of these, in this area, and he stated that if there was no expense to either party, and we might not get it at all, there might be another area in the state of Missouri or even in the U.S. that is in greater need than us. However, the two areas we picked, our poverty level is very low, so it's possible that we will, and it's, to me, going to be very similar to what the DREAM initiative was that when we very first started.
They did studies in the DREAM.
Yes, but that was 10 years ago. So this is going to be just like a new updated version, but just of 2 locations.
Okay.
Is essentially what it is. And I would come back, once we submit this in August, I would come back and say we have received it, and then let you know further information from there. This is strictly just a letter of interest to them.
I like it. What do we need? How do we need to make a motion to what, though? Or just accept
When's the
it?
letter due? I'm sorry.
August 1st.
I was just going to draft a letter for you all to sign.
Okay.
So we won't meet again before August 1st, but I don't think it's actually ready to sign yet, was my understanding.
Okay.
So,
I just need a couple things from Matt Winters, and he should be back in the next couple of
Mhm.
days. So it's up to
Okay.
council.
council got any other thoughts on if they want to support the project? So all we're doing at this point is doing a letter of support so that she can submit and hope, and is it federal money or state money that the grant is, or the EPA is?
All of this is federal.
Federal. So then we're up against every city in the United States
Right.
when you do this.
Right.
Okay.
I make a motion, we center though.
Oh, I do too. But I just, before you support something, and then the
Right.
public asks also, that they're not looking at the packet even, we need to
Right.
explain a little better what we're doing with it and where we're going. That's
Right. So
that's what I was asking.
no money is received to the city or to downtown Poplar Bluff. No monetary exchange whatsoever. We submit the letter of interest with the letters of support from different entities in the community with this whole packet, which I think all of you received. If you didn't, I don't mind to email that to you all.
I think we have it. I think we have it.
Okay. And if they think that if we follow all the guidelines, we match it, and there's enough funds available, because obviously there is funds being used, but it's to a private agency that the EPA chooses.
Well, in some of these, you have to guarantee that you, like, make it's a 90-20 grant or 90-10 grant or something like that. You would have to guarantee that you would have to support that. So we just need to double check on that part too.
Yeah, there's no.
So if we get awarded and we have to do some matching money and we don't have the money, then
Yeah, there's no money involved in this. This
Okay.
is strictly, yes, you
100%.
received it, we're going to come in and do this, and then their hope is that then we begin our either fundraising or looking for grants, or, if that's brownfields because there's tanks or lead or, different things like that. This is just strictly EPA. It's a side agency called Greening America's Communities. It's through their Office of Community Revitalization. So they partner with EPA's Environmental Department to do this. So it's just a new division that they've opened. So it doesn't require us, if, say that we would get it, doesn't require us to say, okay, now you have to enter into this grant and you have to pay 60%
Right.
of whatever we give you. No, this is strictly
and
just
some of them
a
are.
rendition.
Okay. Okay. So do you think we need a motion or just a consensus? And then each of us would be responsible for signing. When Pam gets the letter ready, we'll run by City Hall and sign.
I'd make the motion that we support the intent to go forward with this project.
So we have a motion and second to support the project that Jarek has brought before us. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
So if you can just coordinate with her and
I will, as
she'll
soon as
coordinate with
it's-
us to get signatures on it.
That's perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, so item 7 is our consent agenda. The items on the consent agenda are approved by a single action of the City Council. If any council member would like to have an item removed from the consent agenda and consider it separately, he or she may request to do so. Entertain a motion and second.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and second to approve the consent agenda as presented by the city clerk. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8, workshop item for discussion. The City Council will consider a proposal ordinance conveying right-of-way from Cripple Creek Transportation Development District to the City of Poplar Bluff. Mr. Massingham?
Yes, several months ago, the Planning Department brought to council an item to vacate right-of-way on Shelby Road to Jimmy Nicholson. Council took action on the ordinance in April, and it was passed. But after we started in research, the city had no right to give away that right-of-way, so Cripple Creek TDD had to meet. They met last Friday, and this is transferring that to the City of Poplar Bluff from the Cripple Creek TDD.
Are there any questions from the council?
I motion this be moved to the voting session August 6th.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, the City Council will review Adopt a Street program. Mr. Massingham?
Yes, last year when Councilman DeGaris was mayor, we talked about an Adopt a Street program several different times. I actually did some research and found out that cities like Hannibal, Sykeston, Rolla, Cape, Springfield, all have had an Adopt a Street or Adopt a Block program, and they've had it for several years, and they seem to think it helps a little bit. Of course, any help at all, I think, helps us. I'm just going to pass this out. It's basically what I gave you in your packets, but it's a paper copy.
Everybody's got one.
I'll just briefly go through it, and after I'm done, any input you all have would be much appreciated. The Adopt a Street program is designed to promote a volunteer spirit and instill pride in the City of Poplar Bluff. It allows citizens, organizations, and church or civic clubs to work with the city by adopting a segment of a roadway and agreeing to keep it clean. This offers a way for people and organizations in the community to work together while making Poplar Bluff a better place to live and receive publicity for their contribution. The City of Poplar Bluff will provide trash bags for cleanup events and pick up the full bags left along the route. A sign displaying the individual organization's name will be installed after 2 consecutive pickups and have been completed by the individual organization. The sign may be removed following 2 consecutive periods of no activity as specified in the application. To become a volunteer to help your community, you must complete an application which is available by clicking. This will actually, if approved, this would also be on the web page, so that's why it says clicking. Once completed, you can email it to City of Poplar Bluff at PB Utilities or drop off at City Hall. Also, the street department will be somewhat involved in this. The Adopt a Street requirements, and what I did was went through each of these cities, and some of them did it one way and some did it another, so I kind of picked out through each of the cities what I thought worked best for us, but any of this can be changed, anything you all have or recommendations. Application form shall be completed and signed by the requesting individual organization. The program applies to City of Poplar Bluff streets and the right-of-way where a city-maintained street or alley is located. The City of Poplar Bluff will provide trash bags to the requesting individual's organization. A minimum number of cleanup activities must be at least once every quarter. Some cities had once every quarter, some had once every month, some had twice a year, so kind of met it halfway. Request individual organization shall contact the Poplar Street Department to arrange for pickup of trash bags along the street. Similar to what MoDOT does, you'll see the yellow trash bags along the highway, and MoDOT will come through and pick them up. Sign displaying the individual organization name be installed after 2 consecutive pickups, which I went over. If you go to the back page, you'll just kind of see I came up with this last week, that it would be bigger than this. The signs probably will run about $40 a piece.
I don't know if the camera can see it or not. Maybe something like that.
Yeah. The individual organization contact person shall be kept up to date as changes occur. Failure to do this may mean cancellation of the application and removal of the sign. We have safety rules. Safety vests must be worn at all times while picking up trash. Placing a volunteer litter crew ahead warning sign facing traffic ahead of the work area. Cleaning only one side of the road at a time and facing oncoming traffic. No headphones allowed while working. Wearing appropriate clothing, namely pants, thick-soled shoes, or boots and gloves. Performing cleanup activities during daylight hours and when weather has good visibility. Then I also just listed some of the major thoroughfares. This would pertain to any street in town that anybody wants to clean up, whether it be in their neighborhood or somebody else's neighborhood. I didn't list Shelby Road or Oak Grove, which should be listed on here, but these are just suggested streets. Now, if you notice the little logo at the top, the Poplar Bluff City with Pride.
I like that.
Teresa Salyer, who works for the city, has for almost 30 years. Her dad, Sam Gambaluki, who probably loved this town as much as anybody. She was going through some things at his home a couple of months ago, and she found this lapel pin. And I've been wearing it on my suit when I go somewhere, and people ask where it came from. And I'm really not sure the history of it, but I think the Chamber of Commerce did these 30 or 40 years ago, because I remember seeing them years ago when I was younger. And I took it to one of the printing companies in town and had them do a logo for us, and thought maybe any program that we do is to help clean up Poplar Bluff, we could use that logo. And,
Sounds great.
But anyway, I'm open to any suggestions you all have.
I think it's an excellent idea.
I like
It's just another step towards cleaning things up.
I agree. Thank you. That is wonderful. Any other comments or questions about it? How soon would you be ready to get started with it?
I would say if we vote on it at the next meeting, which is actually 3 weeks away, probably a couple of weeks after that, I think we can.
Okay.
Sometime in late August, or at least by September. So.
And people ask a lot about picking up brush, so would they be able to pile up brush for the city street department to come pick up as well? Because, we have a lot of limbs that get blown down this time of year.
Right.
And they don't know what to do. They can't burn them. They don't know what to do with them, and they pile them up. And just wonder if that could be incorporated.
Sure, we could incorporate. I know street department, when they see a pile of brush, they try to pick it up, but yes.
Okay. All right. That's all good, new, exciting news. Okay, so I guess with that, we would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and second to move item C to the voting session to be held on August the 6th pertaining to the adopted street litter control as presented by Mr. Massingham. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9 are action required items. A. Did I skip one? I did, didn't I? I'm sorry. Item C, back in Section 8 on the workshop items. The City Council will discuss an amendment to the 2018 fiscal year budget to include a special allocation fund. Mr. Massingham, and I apologize.
Yes, if you'll recall, during the audit, they asked us that we prepare a budget for this item. This is the Special Allocation Fund, which is the 8 Points TIF project, the TIF bonds. It's kind of a difficult budget to prepare for. We've had it in our accounting system for 3 years now, and it changes each year. 1 year because we actually issued bonds, 1 year we didn't. It's really used for an accounting function, and we may actually have to come back and amend it towards the end of the year as progress goes on. But this is what they asked for, and this should satisfy their.
And it was because there was money left over that they require a budget, the way I understood it. Is that correct?
Yes, there's still money left from the TIF bonds done last year.
So if it had all been spent, then you would not have needed the budget. But
Right.
because we still have funds in there is what makes it require the budget. So
Yes, that
it's
is
a little unusual than the normal. So,
right. That is correct.
All right. Any other questions from the council regarding item C? If not, I entertain a motion and a second to move item C to the voting session to be held August the 6th.
So moved.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll move on to our action required items. AA Bill Number 8085. The City Council will take action on an ordinance establishing procedure for discussion of potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain municipal officers.
Motion for first reading of bill number 8085.
Second.
Motion and second for first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Richardson?
An ordinance establishing a procedure for the disclosure of potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain municipal officers.
Motion for second reading of Bill 8085.
Second.
Motion and second for second reading of Bill Number 8085. All those in favor? No, just a minute. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Richardson? I lost my place again.
An ordinance establishing a procedure for the disclosure of potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain municipal officers.
Move for adoption of bill number 8085.
Second.
Motion is second for adoption. Is there any discussion? Roll call, Ms. Kirby?
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilman Black,
Yes.
Councilman DeGaris.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horton. Yes. Councilman Cornman.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
Yes.
And Mayor McVeigh.
Yes.
We have 7 yes votes.
Bill number 8085 has been adopted. Item BB, the City Council of the City of Poplar Bluff will meet in a closed meeting in which they will discuss such matters which are exempted under the Open Meetings Law, Section 610.021.1, .2, .3, .9, .11, .12, .13, .14 RSMO. I need a motion and second for us to go into closed council, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call, Ms. Kirby?
Councilman DeGaris.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horton.
Yes.
Councilman Cornman.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilman Black.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
Yes.
Mayor McVeigh.
Yes.
We have 7 yes votes.
Thank you, Ms. Kirby. After the city manager's report, we will go into closed session. Mr. Messingham?
Really don't have anything to report tonight. Street Department and Parks been busy trying to keep up with the grass, and just a busy summer, so.
Okay. Anything else to come before our regular meeting? I'd entertain a motion and second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.